Councillor Harmer.
Thank you. Pardon me. Thank you, Lord Mayor. I'm grateful to Grant Thornton for this detailed study of what went wrong and indeed Mr Socks's presentation this afternoon. But I would like to focus on the note in the preface. We have not undertaken a comprehensive review of evidence or assessment of whether the acts or omissions of any person or body might amount to non-compliance with laws or regulations, or whether any possible offences might be made out or causes of action might accrue, and states that our work excludes analysis of whether the actions of any party might give rise to specific causes of action, such as misfeasance in public office or criminal offences. Now, I make no criticism of Grant Thornton if they weren't asked to do that, but when you learn in the report that senior officers did not take effective ownership of the programme, issues were minimised in reporting to members, the minutes of the steering group were poor and reporting had a positive bias, it's concerning that given the massive impact this disaster has had on the Council's finances, that no person is named, whether that is in terms of having poor professional standards or worse. Over £100 million of public money has been wasted, and of course the losses go far greater than that in terms of the lost opportunity in actually driving efficiencies in this council. And that leads to significant cuts in services that will impact the lives of the vulnerable. And yet we aren't looking to see who is responsible. Now, I've heard the argument that putting things right and learning lessons is more important than pointing blame at individuals, but I disagree. This isn't a one-off, either in our council or in local government as a whole. We were promised an inquiry, as we heard earlier, into the wider issues in this council, and now that seems unlikely. And as I learned at a presentation last week, no individual has been held accountable for the disastrous failures at Croydon Council. Now, listen to a presentation by the new Cabinet Member for Finance in Croydon, who basically told us that everyone involved with what went wrong there had walked away. And while some may have suffered some reputational damage, they were still working in the same roles, and that isn't maybe in other local authorities or other organisations. And clearly that is not a sufficient disincentive to stop it happening again. So there's a pattern here that you can foul up badly, move on, sometimes even with a payout, go to another job, no doubt often well paid. Where is the incentive to make absolutely sure that critical decisions are made correctly if there is no penalty for getting it wrong? This feels like local government's equivalent of the causes of the investment banking crisis of 2008, where one-way bets could be made, knowing that if you won, you were highly rewarded, and if you lost, you just move on and the government bails you out. Perhaps in many cases it will be that certain individuals didn't commit any crime, but just needed more training and support to make the right decisions. But the culture that no individual person can be publicly criticised is damaging to local government. Councillor Cotton, in his opening remarks, said that this report helps us to find out what went wrong. But what went wrong was not just decisions, it was the people behind those decisions who made those decisions. And if we aren't investigating that, this is not a full examination of what went wrong. So, Lord Mayor, I'm not after vengeance, but when this scale of public money has been wasted, we need to know not just what went wrong, but who was responsible. So I support the Conservative amendment and hope the whole Council will too. Thank you, Lord Mayor.